Welcome to Contributor Wednesday on Bridge the Gap Network. In this series, you'll hear from thought leaders on a variety of topics dedicated to inform, educate, and influence the senior living industry.
Welcome to Bridge the Gap Podcast, the senior living podcast with Josh and Lucas. We are doing a Contributor Wednesday takeover. It's time for us to come back on. And, we have a lot of new listeners, and we wanted to remind people about what the Contributor Wednesday series is all about, the philosophy behind it, the people that are on it, and just remind people about this series because they see it come up in the BTG feed. And it's just there's a lot of quality content that's coming out from a very diverse group of people on a variety of topics that are tied to our mission to educate, inform, and influence.
And on this topic, a lot of especially our new listeners and our new viewers on YouTube don't realize that we produce content for the senior living industry 365 days a year on 5 channels. And the only way we could do that is expanding and becoming a network. So not only now do we continue to have the Josh and Lucas every Monday show, but the contributors that rotate in are amazing. So you're getting very specific content, deep dives on a variety of topics.
We've always believed that Bridge the Gap is not about one person or multiple people. It's about the industry, to educate, inform, and influence, to be the tide that rises all boats. And it has been our honor and privilege to bring on great people in Contributor Wednesday. Let's run through a couple of them. We've got David Hopkins. He's talking about leadership lessons for community administrators. We have Kara Soletto talking about workforce retention and culture. Jay Cozy on Inspire and Empower. Christy Cunningham on sales and marketing. So we've got these great leaders from all over the spectrum in the senior living industry giving you their thoughts and opinions about things that matter to this industry.
That's right. And you can listen and you can watch at very convenient times. That's the awesome thing about the podcast network. In addition, you can connect with these people. They are awesome professionals that work right alongside you guys that are listening in the industry. These contributors would love to be able to interact with you even outside of the podcast realm. So connect with them. You can find out so much about them. You can listen to all the shows on the network, btgvoice.com.
Totally. Each one of them have a profile. You can go back and listen to a variety of their shows. Some of you may not know that we actually transcribe every single episode. btgvoice.com, you can scroll through a variety of topics, variety of different platforms and media that we have. If you want to watch the video, if you want to connect with us on social, and then each contributor is there. So one of the things is that we're constantly looking for great minds, great thought leadership in the industry. And the Contributor Wednesday series is a series, right? And so it ebbs and flows throughout our seasons. And so if you're listening right now and you think like, wow, you know what? I really have something to say. I'd love to be a part of a Contributor Wednesday. Go to btgvoice.com and go to our contact page and shoot us a note. Make sure that you put in there that you're interested in being a contributor on our Contributor Wednesday series. And then tell us a little bit about yourself. What really are you passionate about? What topics really get you going?
It's amazing how much content for the senior living industry is being pushed out, all thanks to our partners that help make it possible. We're putting out multiple shows a week now, all over. You can find us. You can watch them. If you prefer to not listen to the podcast, you can go to YouTube. You can watch them there. So many awesome resources.
Totally. And we really do appreciate all of our listeners because right now you're probably commuting, traveling, maybe you're working out, walking the dog, or just, sipping your morning coffee or just taking a break from work. And we do really appreciate you guys leaning in and listening in. And we want you to be a part of the conversation. So you can do that on our social media pages. LinkedIn continues to be a phenomenal place to have these discussions. Of course, we're very active on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube as well. But we want you to connect with us even on a greater level. Lean in on these conversations. And, I'm thinking right now, places like Dallas, Nashville, Atlanta, Chicago, New York, DC, some of these are really big networks for our listeners. They live in these regions, and we just wanted you guys to know that who are listening, we really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And so even outside of those big metros that Lucas just mentioned, so many of our growing audience are actually in very tertiary markets, very small. You don't often get the opportunity to travel or take time away from your community or your office to get to these mega events that our senior housing industry is having. The awesome thing about the Bridge the Gap network is literally, if you go through our show history and our notes, and even these contributors are paid big dollars to be keynote speakers at conferences all across our industry, and you're getting the content, deep dive content, bonus content right here on the Bridge the Gap network at the touch and convenience of your phone or your computer or whatever way you're listening to podcasts for free. There is no subscription fees, and it's awesome resource for you 365 days a year.
So let's be a part of the tide that rises all boats here on the BTG network. We're so grateful that you're listening. Connect with us at btgvoice.com, and thanks for listening to another great episode of Bridge the Gap.
Thanks for listening to Contributor Wednesday series on Bridge the Gap Network. For more information about the contributors and for a full library of episodes, visit btgvoice.com.